Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is October 27th, 2023. And I want to talk about baseball because, you know, people always ask me, what is the one sport that you think is the hardest to rig, right? And I always point to baseball because a lot of the things that happen in baseball, I always ask myself, like, how did they script that? And, I did a live stream a few months ago speaking on this topic. And one of the examples that we was using in that live stream was, you guys remember when the Cubs fan interfered with the foul ball? I asked myself, like, okay, because this is obviously scripted, right? This moment right here. They call it the Steve Bartman incident. And obviously, whoever was batting, a 54-second video, whoever was batting purposely hit the ball so that this actor right here, Steve Bartman was an actor, fake name, but whoever hit the ball hit it exactly to his location in the stance for this moment to happen, like the way it did, right? Because it was a ritual. And I always ask myself, like, how do you do that? How do you do that on purpose? How do you hit the ball and make the ball land on a specific fan in the stands? How you do that? How do you do that? And I don't know the answer to that. And even though we did a 2-hour live stream that day, we still wasn't able to come up with the answer. A lot of people called in, and they wasn't able to give me an answer because they don't know either. So, if looking at all the sports, like, NFL, the NBA, hockey, those sports are really easy to script and to, control everything. But I do give a lot of credit to the baseball players because there's a lot of things that go on that I don't know. I don't have the answers to. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because of this. So, if you guys are into baseball, you guys should remember that in 2001, Randy Johnson, he hit a bird while pitching. And I'm like, because when this happened, I really thought this was a coincidence. I'm like, oh, that was just a coincidence. Like, how do you script that? You throw the ball and then make the bird like, I don't, this shit is like mind blowing how they do this shit, man. But obviously now that, 22 years later, and it happened again, another Arizona Diamondback starter did it again. Now I went back and I'm like, okay, so the Randy Johnson stuff was not an accident. It was scripted as well. But how do you do that? How do you hit a bird on purpose? Like, I could do this a million. I could try 1,000 times, even 1,000,000 times, and I couldn't do that. So Randy Johnson is that good that he can hit a bird while the bird is flying. It's not like the bird is stationary. The bird was flying, and he was able to. Oh my gosh! Let's watch the video of him doing it, and then we're gonna watch Zach Jalen, who did it also while practicing. He also hit a bird this year, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because coincidentally, the year that Randy Johnson hit a bird, they went to the World Series and won the World Series. And in this year, when Zach Jalen did it, Diamondbacks are in the World Series. And seems to be a lot of parallels with 2001. So let's just take a look at this. Amazing. I'm telling you, this stuff is amazing. And it only happens in baseball. I mean, I don't have an explanation for none of this stuff, to be honest. Let me just fix this real quick. All right, so here we go. Even in slow motion, I can't explain this shit. Look at this. The timing has to be perfect. Look at that. And the bird flying. Oh, my God. How do you do that on purpose? Your timing and your throw has to be so accurate. It's really remarkable. But let's fast forward to 22 years later, and let's just look at Zach Jalen, who also did it. Let me look up the date that he did this. Right? I think this was while practice. The season that it was before the season began. Actually, no. I think it was during the season, but it was a practice game. It was during practice. He didn't he wasn't at the game like Randy Johnson did it. So Arizona Diamondback Zach Jalen tragically kills bird while playing catch. Reminiscent of the incident with Randy Johnson several years ago, the Diamondbacks ace took out the bird while playing catch in Oakland. So this article was dated May 17th, so maybe that's when it happened. I am 100% pro animal, so I don't find this particularly fun to write about or report on, but the Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher Zach Jalen took out a bird on Wednesday afternoon. Okay, so it was Wednesday. So let's go to May 17th. So yeah, so it was May 17th. All right, so they just take this is measure from that date to the World Series. See what we notice. I'm telling you, this stuff is unbelievable. So it's 163 days before today's game. Here's that Tom Brady birthday, August 3rd. Let's see something. 41 weeks after his birthday, the USA number. Okay. Now let me see. When did Randy Johnson hit a bird? What date was that? It was March 24th, 2001. So 3/24. And this stuff doesn't happen that often. Like pitchers don't just hit birds all the time. Like this has happened like a handful of times ever. So it was 54 days after the anniversary of the Randy Johnson incident. Baseball equals 54. It was 22 years later, like we said. All right, so I know Randy Johnson was born a day before 9/11. It was 170 days before his birthday or 195 days after. Okay. All right, let's take a look at Zach Jalen, his incident with the bird. Let's see.
Zach Gallen was, he couldn't wait to tell everybody as he made his way back from throwing a side. Zach Gallen was, he couldn't wait to tell everybody as he made his way back from throwing a side session here because he hit a bird. I'm an animal lover, so this hurts me, but in the spirit of Randy Johnson, I think you know where we're going with this. The bird is no longer with us. I know Zach Gallen took some time to recognize that, but he hit it with a curveball mid-air, mid-flight, and our cameras caught it.
Okay, so I guess I was saying his name wrong. So it's Zach Gallen. Okay. Doesn't really matter. But the thing is this, right? How do you script that? I want to open up the phone lines. I want you guys to call in and help me out with this because I don't know how the fuck do you do that on purpose, man. But let me just show you guys something that I shout out to Brad. He sent me a screenshot of something somebody else posted on Instagram of all the similarities between the 2001 Diamondbacks and the 2023 Diamondbacks. Now, I'm not saying that the Diamondbacks are going to win the World Series, but like I said in my last live stream, they do have a narrative. If they win the World Series, they will give the American League... No, they will give the National League, their 52nd World Series championship. And Texas Rangers equals 52. So they could do it against a team that equals 52. So don't count the Diamondbacks out because they do have a narrative. But the Rangers do have a narrative as well because their manager can pick up his 57th postseason win the World Series number. So we will see which one of those two narratives are they going to go with. But he sent me the screenshot, right? So the person wrote, Our ace hit a bird in 2001. Randy Johnson, the ace. And think about that as well. It wasn't just any pitcher who hit the bird, right? It was their ace. Just like this year. Zach Gallen is not. He's not like like a bullpen pitcher. He's their ace, right? And then it says that our ace hit a bird in 2023. Wow, what are the odds? All the dates of the World Series games in 2001 are the same as the dates in 2023. Right? So let's just verify that. So 2001 World Series schedule. And this is why we gotta stop. I stopped doing this a long time ago. Every time we get like a prediction incorrect, we start saying stuff like, "Oh, they changed the script." Stuff like this is proof that they're not changing any scripts. We're just getting stuff wrong, right? And he's absolutely right. Look at that. October. Oh my God! And that's why I was in my last live stream. I was giving the Illuminati a lot of credit because I'm like, man, you guys really know. You guys are really good at scripting this shit, right? And confusing us. And when I say us, I mean the Dakotas. And I'm upset that stuff like this. I'm overlooking stuff like this. But I always say this every time I get stuff wrong. I always learn from my mistakes. And eventually we're gonna get so good that they're not gonna get away with none of this shit. All right, so let's just look at the dates, right? Just compare the dates, see if in fact the World Series dates are exactly the same. And by the looks of it is. So this year, Game 1 will be today, October 27th. Game 2 will be on 28th, right? So let's see Game 1 and Game 2 of the 2001 World Series. And it was on 27th and 28th. Now, Game 3 was on the 30th in 2001. And it's also on the 30th in 2023. Game 4 is on the 31st on Halloween. Game 4 this year will be on Halloween as well. Game 5 was November 1st back in 2001. Game 5 this year will be on November 1st. It's not scripted. The MLB is not scripted. You guys are just cloud chasers. There's still people who say shit like that. This shit is annoying. Game 6 was on November 3rd and Game 7 was on November 4th. So this year, Game 6 will be on November 3rd and Game 7 will be on November 4th. So the Diamondbacks have the exact same World Series schedule as in 2001. Another coincidence, right? And if they are going to go with the same exact script, I would bet on the home teams. It looks like all the home teams won every game. It went to 7 games. It was a 7-game series, and all the home team won. All right, so in 2001, the Arizona was the home team. The first 2 games, they won. The Yankees were the home teams on game 3 and 4 and 5. They won all 3 of those games, took the 3-2 lead. And then Arizona won game 6 and game 7. So this year, game 1 will be in Texas. Game 2 will be in Texas. So we might see the Rangers win the first 2 games of this series and then end up losing the series to the Diamondbacks if they're going to go with the same script. So let's see what else. The All-Star game was in Seattle in 2001, and it was also in Seattle in 2003. All right, so let's take a look at the All-Star game in 2001. 2001 All-Star game. All right, so yeah, it was in let's see. Yeah. The game was held on July 10th of 2001 at Safeco Field in Seattle, Washington, home of the Seattle Mariners of the American League. Right? So then we look at the 2023 All-Star game. Okay, gotta make sure that we put MLB. Okay, here we go. The game was played on July 11th, 2023, and it was televised nationally by Fox Deportes, and Fox Sports app. The game was hosted by the Seattle Mariners at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Right? So there you go. And that's funny how they had the Phillies manager and the Astros manager host the national, and those are the 2 managers that lost the ALCS and the NLCS. That's funny how they did that. All right. So what else? What was the last one? George Bush. he threw the first pitch in 2001, and I guess he's gonna throw the first pitch in 2023. So I did not know that he's gonna throw the first pitch. That's what I mean. More evidence of how this is a tribute to 9/11. So George Bush, let's see if it's true. So George Bush throws the first pitch. Throwing first pitch. Let's see if it's true. Okay, so former President Bush to throw out World Series first pitch. So that is a fact. He's gonna throw the first pitch. Look at that. You see the mockery? The mockery. The team that won the World Series in 2001 after the terrorist attacks of 9/11 is playing in the 119th World Series, like how you write the date 9/11, 11/9. And of course, Bush, I think he's a former owner of the Texas Rangers, lives in Texas, big Texas Rangers fan. That team is playing against the Texas Rangers in the World Series. Oh, baby. So all these similarities with 2001. Yet people still debate whether or not the leagues are scripted. This is perfectly scripted. But, this first one right here, I don't have an explanation for this. I could see how they script everything else, right? You can script almost everything else in baseball. But, there are a couple things in baseball that I don't know. I don't have an explanation for, like the Steve Bartman incident, the Randy Johnson hitting a bird, and 22 years later, Zach Gallen doing it as well. How the fuck do they do that? How do they do that? Keep in mind that George Bush is 77, and the Diamondbacks advance on a 77 date numerology. When you write out September 11th and World Trade Center, they both equal 77 in gematria. And that was a big number during 9/11. I think that's why they brought up his age right here, right? Bush, 77 years old. So that's why they're doing this big tribute right now while he's 77. Right? Flight 77 hit the 77-foot Pentagon on the 77th meridian 77 minutes after takeoff. Secret Society equals 77. Big number right there. And doesn't the number 77 look like the towers? It looks like the Twin Towers. Wow. Bush was the U.S. president from 2001 to 2009 and threw out the ceremonial first pitch before Game 3 of the 2001 World Series at Yankee Stadium between New York and Arizona. With heavy security following the September 11th terrorist attacks, Bush wore a bulletproof vest. Why would the president have a bulletproof vest when you had nothing to do with 9/11? Why would you have a bulletproof vest on, huh? You trying to tell me some Arabs were at the game, ready to shoot the president down? Yeah, okay. So yeah, if you guys want to call in and give me your thoughts on this, the number's on the screen, 646-986-0958. Help me understand. How the hell do they pull this stuff off? How do they do this? If you want to talk about the Steve Bartman situation, if you have an explanation for that, please call in. If you want to tell us how do you hit a bird on purpose while it's flying in the air with one try, the first try, because you can't mess this up. The thing about these rituals, you have to do it because this is during the game, right? So Randy Johnson had one shot at this. There's no do-over. You can't make the bird fly and then make the bird fly again until you get it right. No, you have to let the bird go. The bird has to, fly in that direction. How do you direct the bird? First of all, unless it's a fake bird, right? Unless the bird is not even real. Maybe that's how they do it. It's not even a real bird. It's like some type of robotic. Maybe. I mean, that's a possibility. But if it's a real bird, how do you direct the bird? How you tell the bird fly in this direction, go straight down that way? I know they do that with like eagles and stuff, but I don't know. Even if you direct the bird, how do you like? How do you hit? I don't know, man. Let me see if you guys maybe you guys want to write something in the chat. Maybe you guys have an explanation for this. Okay, so let's see. Let me see what people are saying. Put this to the side. Okay. So thanks everybody for joining us. Let me just read what you guys write. All right. So Riley's on my dick. I don't know why you're here, but a lot of haters always watching me. All right, so let's see. All right, let me see. Rangers will win the whole thing. Okay, so you like the Rangers. Okay, so Evie Palmer says you can train a bird to fly wherever you want it to fly. Okay, all right. So Joe P thinks that it was an accident when Randy Johnson did it. Well, you think it was an accident when Zach Galen did it as well? Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm using another ass. Oh, okay. Hey Riley, you gotta get my dick out of your mouth, man. Gotta get my dick out of your mouth. Cause think about it. You're on my live stream looking at my head. It goes to show you that you're probably a homosexual. I do have a big head. Tell your girl, girl, if she wants to see it. I really believe if he utilized those AIs, he could really fast track. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't think anybody has an explanation as well. People just, saying random stuff. Saying that they got the Rangers and stuff. Yeah, Riley's a homosexual, if you guys didn't know that. All right, so if you guys don't want to call in, I think we can just, close it out there. But yeah, if you're watching this on the playback, if you have an explanation for how they pulling a lot of this stuff off, please write a comment or call in to the next live stream. Cause I don't understand, man. This shit is mind blowing. But it's definitely a ritual. This is not an accident. A lot of you think that it is, but no, it's not. This is all perfectly scripted. Because you have to understand, this stuff doesn't happen that often. So let's see if all the home teams win every game. So if that is the case, the Rangers are probably going to win because they have home field advantage. If that's what the script is, then it's going to go 7 games, and the Texas Rangers are going to win the World Series. Wow, amazing. Yeah. Shout out to Javier Apollo. Thanks. Appreciate you joining us, man. All right. So enjoy your Friday, everybody. I thought you guys were gonna help me out on this one, but I guess not. Yeah, and I don't expect anybody to have the answers to that because I don't have the answers to that. So I don't think nobody had the answer last time I did the 2-hour live stream. So you saying why would the Rangers win? Because that's George Bush's favorite team. So why would his favorite team lose in the 119th in a tribute to 9/11, something he was such a big part of? Why would they have his team lose? You can also look at it that way. Yeah, Kurt Schilling. They had a big ritual with Kurt Schilling also when Tim Wakefield passed away this year. He was connected to that ritual. But now his former team was in the World Series. Okay, so we got one person calling in. Let's see what's up. Hello?
Yo, Arthur, what's good, man?
Man, thanks a lot for the call, brother. What's going on?
Ain't nothing, man. I just seen, I was on Instagram, I seen you was going live, so I just heard but went over there. So I missed the question. What was the question?
So, if you remember in 2001, Randy Johnson hit a bird while pitching in the World Series. And then this year, Zach Gallen, the ace for the Diamondbacks, he also hit a bird while practicing. My question was like, how do they pull that off? How do you hit a bird on purpose?
Right. So was it like he was like was Gallen like he did it? Was he on the mound and he was a pitcher?
He was playing catch with another player, and then the bird just flew in the middle of the pitch and got killed.
Right. And when Randy did it, he did it the same. Was it?
No, when Randy Johnson did it, it was like he was pitching. It was during the game, and then the bird just he did his normal wind up. He threw the ball, and then the bird just hit the bird, and the bird just his feathers just started flying everywhere.
Right.
But how do you script that? How do you do that on purpose? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, man. Like, it's just the same thing. Like, we always try to figure out with all these sports, like how they control them. Man. Like, we know it's got to be some type of way that they doing it because it's too accurate. Like, I mean, the probability, especially with Johnson doing it in a game, throwing 100 miles an hour, it has to be like the perfect spot. Like,
Yeah, it has to be like the bird has to fly in a perfect direction. The pitch, you have to have your timing has to be perfect.
yeah, I remember Randy, he was throwing like 100.
Yeah, he was throwing like 100 miles per hour. So it's just crazy, man.
So you're saying like, how the hell would somebody on the mound like him just be able to do that, off the strength of like you don't have to practice that every day. You know what I mean?
You can't practice that. Even if you practice it, who's to say that you're gonna do it? Because you only get one try, right? Randy Johnson had one try to do it.
Right.
It's not like you don't get no do-overs. So how do you do that? How do you pull that ritual off? Say that again.
I said I agree. I said because they can't just keep flying a bird over.
Yeah, you can't just keep flying the bird. So how do you do that on purpose? Like, how do you just get it right the first time? And then you gotta understand that it doesn't really happen that often. I don't think it happened ever again. And then for the second time for it to happen, for it to be another Diamondbacks ace to do it, and in that same year that it happened, that team was in the World Series again.
Yeah, I mean that's too much of a. I hate that word coincidence, man, but it's not a coincidence, pretty much.
Yeah, but I don't understand how, like, in either year, how did they pull it off? How did Zach Gallen do it, and how did Randy Johnson do it? Like, I don't know.
So do you think somebody in the crowd like would have controlled it? Like
my only guess, and I'm not saying this is right. My only guess is that it wasn't a real bird. Maybe it was like some type of robotic and like a bird, something that looked like a bird with feathers and everything. That's like my only guess. And then
like where do you think like they're controlling that from? Like somebody just got a remote control somewhere in the crowd.
I don't know. See, I don't know. I don't want to just say. I don't want to guess because I don't know. I don't even. I think. To be honest, I think it is. I think it's a real bird because the way the ball hit it, it looks like a real like if you hit a real bird. Like that's how it didn't look like it was like a robotic device or something.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean that's crazy how they do it, man. Like you said, unless it's pure magic.
Maybe. Well, that's the only other reasoning, right? Magic.
Yeah, magic. Yeah, magic. That's the thing. Like the stuff that we don't know about. Like even like just like I don't know if you heard that yesterday. And you probably Google it real quick. Like I was watching the Astros and Mariners in a regular season. Just like in September when they were that last weekend, right? And I was literally watching the game, and they had stopped the game. And they was like, did you just see the pitcher got hit? Like, so a fan hit the pitcher from the stands. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how the hell does a fan have the accuracy to hit a pitcher on top of a mound from the stands. Like that's a one. I mean, that's not just a one-shot deal, but it's just like he hit him right in the chest. Like if you look that up, like Astros Mariners, he got ejected, and I'm like it was crazy to me. Like how can he accurately do that from where he was sitting at? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like because the mound is elevated too. So that means like from his seat where he was at. You know what I mean? Like how can he just hit the pitcher from the stand? It was Astros Mariners like one of the last weekends of September this game. I'm like, how are they doing that?
Yeah, I think baseball is the one sport that they do a lot of stuff that I don't have an explanation for. Like, if you remember the Steve Bartman, you remember that incident, the Steve Bartman?
I was a kid. Yeah, I remember Bartman in the stands.
Yeah, he was in the stands. How do you hit the ball as a batter to where he's located at for that to happen the way it did? Like, I know you could hit a home run on purpose, right? You could just hit the ball really hard, and they throw the perfect pitch. It's easier for these players to do it. But how do you hit the ball? Like, let's say I have to hit the ball to exactly the 314 mark, and it has to like be close to this fan who's over there. How do you do that? And it's not like they're throwing the ball at the. It wasn't a throw. It was actually a hit. Somebody hit a foul ball that way.
See, yeah, because you're saying like, how do they?
Yeah, how do you make a foul ball go to the same location where you wanted it at? See, that's what I'm saying. In baseball, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know. I don't know the answers to. And I think that's why it becomes so difficult to convince people or to make people wake up to the rigging, because we don't have the answers to a lot of these questions.
Yeah, but some of these players, when they're swinging the ball, it doesn't even look like they hit it that hard, and the ball's just carrying them.
Yeah, that too. I've seen people check their swing and then hit a home run. It was like, okay, how do you do that?
Yeah, actually, I check swing, and like there was one that I wish I could find it. There was one that happened this year where he barely made contact, and the ball just like lifted off his bat, like it was like a mag, like it just popped off his bat, and like you said, he barely even swung the bat.
I think you might be covering the mic because we can't really hear you like that.
Oh, sorry about that. Hear me now?
No, it's like it's real low. I don't know. It's probably my phone. Yeah, but
Yeah, no. So yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's just like in basketball though. Like there's times where we seen, the shots, like the Damian Lillard, game winner. He was 37 feet away from the basket. Like that looked like a knuckleball. Like it wasn't.
Well, yeah, that that is easier to explain. That's easier to explain. You use some type of magnetic device to control.
But you can see the ball shift in a not normal way. Like.
Yeah, exactly. You could tell that if it wasn't manipulated, it would have been way off.
Yeah, so I mean something like that, and then but like every day we see like in football and NFL like when they miss the field goal, these kickers be kicking it dead in the middle of the air. In the middle of the air, it just turns right, and it be no. And I'm like, how the ball just miss it like that? You know what I mean? So it's like that's why I think something like a control, because they can just make it go wide left, make it go wide right, make it bounce short. You know what I mean? Just drop down.
Yeah, but I just think that when it comes to animals, I don't know how you can control. I don't know.
Like you said, you said that it could have been one of those fake birds that they had. I mean, they had fake insects. They had something out there. I mean, the government already said that they had that. There's fake bees, there's fake birds.
Yeah, that's my other explanation. It might just be a fake animal. It might not just be a bird at all.
So the only way that you can have something in the air, though, is if it's controlled or it's on a string, an invisible string that you can't see.
Well, think about drones, right? It could be like a bird, a drone bird, or something like that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. But like you said you've seen that one when Randy Johnson's one, like you said, the feathers. Yeah, the
Randy Johnson. It doesn't look like it doesn't look like a bird. I mean, it doesn't look like a robotic device at all. To be honest, I'm gonna pull up the video again, see if we can watch it.
Yeah. but there's these instances like you said. Do you feel like every time that happens, it's just some type of ritual? Like,
Well,
you
the
remember?
reason, well, when it happened in 2001, I didn't think it was a ritual. But now that it happened again and that team, it was their ace again, and they're in the World Series and they're bringing that up, is obviously part of the ritual. Because what are the odds that it happened the year that they went to the World Series and won it? And now they're in the World Series again, and it happened again this year.
Yeah. And you already heard about. I mean, the George Bush. Like you heard that
He was throwing the first pitch, yeah.
today. Yeah. Okay.
And he threw the first pitch in 2001 when the Diamondbacks won against the Yankees. And the thing is, right, in the video with the Randy Johnson video, you can see the bird flapping his wings. It's just like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, I don't know. And the Zach Gallen one is a little blurry. You can't, it's not as clear as the Randy Johnson one. But he did the same thing. He did the same
Do you
thing.
think do you ever like decode Zach Allen's name or Brandon Johnson? Like, is your name like equal anything?
I can't hear you. I don't know why.
I said, have you ever decoded their names like Zach Allen and Brandon Johnson? Like they had the same.
I did it real quick, but I didn't really pull much. I didn't really see anything.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, his name equals 162, the baseball number, the 45 like baseball. Um, his name is Zachary Peter Gallen. Let's see. Well, his name does have the 65, like how the World Series on a day leaving 65 days left in the year. Yeah, I don't know what I'll be looking. Even if I find something in the numbers, like I still don't have an explanation on how they pull this stuff off.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know, man. That kudos to somebody for somebody like you just trying to bring awareness to it, bring it to light. Like, no, like just something ain't right with it. You know what I mean? Because too many people just, you can tell somebody something every day. I'll be telling my people like, yo, this ain't no coincidence, man. This shit keep happening over and over. Like, sometimes it may not, want to believe like we looking too far into it, but man, it's undeniable, man.
Somebody says that it might be a fake bird because there was no blood. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, somebody says look up bird drones. So they do have that. Let me see. Bird drones. Oh yeah, they do. Okay. So yeah, that's what I was saying. They got birds that are drones. Yeah. See? That's my other. That was my first explanation. My first thought. It was that. It had to be like a fake bird.
Yeah, no, man. That's the best. That's the best.
Yeah, that is probably how they did it. That is probably how they did it. That is how they did it. Yeah. Cause then that'll make sense if you have something in the ball that'll make like a contact with it.
So you're saying if it was a drone bird, then that means like Randy Johnson, they just did it while they didn't tell him to throw it at a specific time. They just as soon as he was winding up.
Yeah, they timed it perfectly. It had to be timed perfectly. Yeah, they timed it perfectly.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that makes more sense. The whole magic thing. I'm like I always second guess that because I'm like if they're using magic, then there is no hope for us to even ever stop these people because they're using magic, right? So
Right.
how can you stop somebody who's using magic? It's like
I mean, I do believe there is some type of magic. I don't know to what element or where they're using it, but I mean, it gotta be. I mean, it's some stuff that's just like, man, I don't know where did that happen. You know what I mean? Unless it's just really great in production. I mean, they're really good at putting stuff together to make it look good to us. You know what I mean when we're viewing it.
yeah, yep. Well, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for the call, man.
Thanks for letting me know. Have a good one.
Yeah, so thanks to the person who wrote this in the chat. I think that this might be the only explanation for all this. Somebody says bird drone equals 108 like major like baseball. David Teller says hit that Randy Johnson hit a dove. They used I can't read what that says. They used the sun's magnetic pull to navigate allegedly. Okay. 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 All right, but I appreciate everybody who joined us, and yeah, just anybody who's still second guessing whether or not the baseball is rigged or sports is rigged, you guys gotta get your head out of your ass, man. Like all of these things that happened in 2001 are happening again in 2023. It is impossible for all this stuff to be a coincidence. Okay, even if you call the hitting the bird stuff a coincidence, how the fuck is everything else a coincidence? From the All-Star games to George Bush throwing the first pitch, the schedule being identical. Come on. Oh, you guys take care. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Peace.